Let's look at melodic harmonization. What is it? This video will show you that. The objectives of this video are to define melodic harmonization, to review harmonic function in a key, and to provide a simple baseline for a simple melody. So first, let's look at what melodic harmonization is. We first have to see what melody is, because melodic comes from melody. Melody is a sequence of notes that is musically satisfying. It's also the principal part in harmonized music. Therefore, what's harmony? Well, harmony is the combination of different musical notes played or sung at the same time to produce a pleasing sound. So, what is melodic harmonization? Well, melodic harmonization is when we add harmony, so like the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, or the 7 chord, to a melody to make it sound pleasing. So the harmony is more than one note that goes under that single note melody. It is, given a melody, what options are there for the harmony? So it's time to add a simple bass line to our melody that we have. Let's go take a look at that. So now we have to figure out how to harmonize this melody. Well, in order to harmonize a melody, the first thing you have to put in is the bass. So we will focus on just the bass right now. Let's look here at the Mary Had a Little Lamb melody that we have. We are in the key of C. That's the first thing we have to figure out. And we have to understand that the most obvious answer for harmony is if the melody note is in a chord, then that melody note will sound good in that chord. So what I've included here for you are all the chords in the key of C and the notes in the chord. So here you have the 1 chord, which the notes in that are C, E, G. The 2 chord has D, F, A. The 3 chord has E, G, B, 4, F, A, C, and so forth. So now we're going to take our lyric tool and finale, and step 1 is to figure out what our options are. Our first note is E. There are going to be 3 options for any note as to which chord it will sound good with. So right here we have the 1 chord. It has an E in it. Therefore, that is an option for an E. Comma, don't hit spacebar or else you go on to the next note here. So we're going to put our 3 options. The E is also in the 3 chord, so that chord would sound good with an E. And finally, we see an E in the 6 chord. So those are our 3 options for the E melody note, those 3 chords. Now, we have a D here. Which chords have a D in it? What are our 3 options? We have D in the 2 chord, so that's an option. We also have D in the 5 chord, so that's an option. And finally, we have D in the 7 chord. That's another option. Go on to our next melody note by hitting spacebar. So right here, we have a C. Well, it's in the 1 chord, so that's an option. It's also in the 4 chord. That is another option. And it's in the 6 chord. That's the 3rd option. So let's move to the next melody note, which is D, which we already did here, so we know that it's in the 2, the 5, and the 7. Let's move on. We have an E here. E, as we did before, is in 1, 3, or 6. Those are my chord options to harmonize an E. Instead of writing it out for each and every one, I will just write it once in the measure because we're going to use that option for all the notes. For a D, we've already done it twice. We know that's 2, 5, and 7. And then E here, we're seeing some repetition here. 1, 3, and 6. And then an E again. Since it's a new measure, I am going to write this again. Now we have D again, which was 2, 5, and 7. Those are our options. Here we have C. We've done that one already. That's 1, 4, and 6. You're going to see there's quite a bit of repetition here, which is actually great because once you do it once, you don't have to keep doing it over and over again. You can see that it's scrolled down here now, so with my lyric tool I have to click the bottom again. We have yet another D, which is 2, 5, and 7. We have another E, which is 1, 3, and 6. Another D, which is 2, 5, and 7. Another D, which I won't write again. Another E, which is 1, 3, and 6. Another D, which is 2, 5, and 7. And finally, we have a C, which our options were 1, 4, and 6. Great. So now I know what my options are. It's time to choose what to put in the bass. We are only going to put a bass note in. So for this assignment, I'm going to make it easy for you. You are only limited to the 1 or the 5. So let's look at note number 1. My only options are 1, 3, and 6. 5 isn't an option, so you must choose 1 or 5. So now go to the simple entry palette, click the quarter note. We're going to choose 1 for this one. We're going to put it in the piano bass. 1 in this case is C. There you go. I have created my first note for my bass line. Look at the D. What are my options? 2, 5, and 7. Well, the only notes you're allowed to use for this assignment are 1 or 5. And 5 is the only option, so I have to choose 5, which in the key of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the root is G. So therefore, I put a G in. Now let's look at this next note, C. My options are 1, 4, and 6. You are limited to this assignment to only use 1 and 5. Therefore, you have to pick 1, which is C. If you look at the next one, the D, that's 5. That's my only option. So 5 is C, G, so I put a G in there. Now here we go, we have 3 E's. Well, we know from having done it here, I have to choose C, because we're only allowed to choose 1 or 5, and don't forget to put a half note here. Now back to the quarter note. What's my option for this measure? Can I choose 1 or 5? Only 5. So here you go, 5 is G. Now we're back to the E. I can only choose 1 or 5. So I have to choose 1. Don't forget the half note. Then down here, I have 1, I have 5, I have 1, I have 5. I know it's time for me to move along here so I don't bore you to tears because we do have other parts to this assignment that you're going to need to get to. I made a mistake. I'll delete that. And then here we have 1, 1, and 1. Now we have D, which is the 5, 2 5s, a 1, and then my whole note. And now we have one final step. I need to know what you chose. So you click the lyric tool again, and you go to the bass line, and now you put in the Roman numerals. This was 1. Of course, I made a mistake, and I hit play. Go here, 1, 5. We'll get to listen to it in a moment. 1, 1, 1, 5, 5, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 1, 1, 5, 5, 1, 5, 1. Now I'm done. Now the only thing left, 2 things, to save it and submit it, but before I do that, I want to hear what I wrote. And there you have it. Now, I will click Save As, and I'll put it on my desktop, and I will call it Melodic Harm 1, and then put my last name on it. Save it. Now, for your computer, to make this easier for me to check out, I would like you to give me a screenshot of it. So, we're going to click here, screenshot it, and then include that screenshot in Google Classroom, and then attach this finale file, the screenshot, and that's it, I believe. So good luck. Thanks for watching.